welcome back to Exploit Security. I am your host, Scott Anderson, and today we're going to be doing a dive into some more Capture the Flag challenges. Now, what I really like about Capture the Flag is it helps build upon those required skills and that critical thinking pattern needed to be successful as a penetration tester and just as a cybersecurity professional in general. So if you do like the content, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Exploit Security. I am your host, Scott Anderson, and today we are going to be jumping into some more CTF. We're going to be starting with OverTheWire Natas. So if OverTheWire does sound familiar to you, I do have some other content, OverTheWire Bandit, which is kind of geared around working in a terminal, using SSH, doing a little bit of Git, and just learning to enumerate and understand a Linux machine, as well as some of those basic commands that are involved with it. So Natas, as you can see displayed on the page, it's about teaching the basics of server-side web security. I also have another series called Defend the Web, very, very similar. I like to start off with Natas when I'm doing mentorship sessions just because of how simple it is to work with and jump into. So whenever I'm teaching junior analyst or those aspiring to be penetration testers, Natas works great for showing them the web application side, just because of how easy it is to start learning and work through some of those initial challenges. So quick heads up before I jump into it, I am probably going to work my way through the first probably 5 videos. But I do want to say these videos will show the solution. So if you haven't tried to find the solution on your own, I strongly encourage it. It's really the best way of learning. With that being said, I understand that sometimes people get stuck. And sometimes they need to see so that they can perform on future challenges. So that's kind of why I have these videos geared towards it, right? As you get stuck, you can jump to the video, you can learn, but really kind of try to understand the thinking pattern, the workflow, and the process to discover some of this stuff. So without wasting too much of your time, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So you can see on the page, we have that username, the password, and that URL. We're just going to go ahead and just grab that URL. I like to open up another tab. I'm using the Mac for today, so it's Command V for me to paste. You can see right off the bat, we get that pop-up for the username and password. Again, the username is going to be Natas0. As you proceed through 1, 2, 3, 4, the username is going to follow that similar pattern. The password will change depending on the challenge. In this case, the password for Natas level 0 is just going to be Natas0. Same as we're just going to pop that sign in. So right off the bat, we have a very empty page. There's not a whole lot going to it. But I like to stress to people, you really kind of want to interact with the web application. You want to understand what you're looking at. You want to understand how it works in the back end. You don't ever want to just go straight for the compromise. Of course, with Capture the Flag, it's a little bit more streamlined. Some of the challenges are a little bit more siloed. You're not going to be able to follow the entire penetration testing methodology from start to finish. But keep in mind that when you are doing this, you kind of want to understand what you're looking at. And if you don't, the best advice I can give you is just Google or drop a comment in the section below and I'll see if I can help you out. So one of the things I always recommend is just look at the page source. That's pretty easy to do. You can just right click, hit view page source. If you're using your keyboard, you can do Control U on a Windows machine or Command U on a Mac machine, and we'll hit that view page source. And right off the bat, you can see the password for Natas1 is yada yada, and that's on line 16. We're just going to go ahead and just copy that password. I'll jump back over to my previous tab. I'm going to close that out for now. I don't like to have a bunch of tabs open. It's a bad habit of mine. I'm going to replace that 0 in the URL and drop in a 1. Give it a second to load. In this case, the username is going to be Natas1 because that is the level we're progressing towards. Then we're just going to paste in that credential that we just found. We're going to hit sign in. And right away, we get loaded up into Natas1, so that looks like the credential was successful. And we can see here on the page, it says, you can find the password for the next level on this page, but right-clicking has been blocked. So like I said earlier, there's keyboard shortcuts for viewing the page source. You can do that with, again, Control U for a Windows machine or Command U for a Mac machine. Again, you want to get in the habit of Googling this stuff, right? You can certainly find the answer within a couple minutes, especially for the first early levels. So try to get in the habit of kind of looking for the answer on your own before utilizing these videos. I'm just going to go ahead and hit Command U. Right off the bat, on line 17, we can see the username and credential pair. I'm going to do the same thing. Grab that credential, close out the tab. In the URL, I'm going to remove that 1. And I'm just going to pop in a 2, hit enter, give it a second to load. Again, the username field pops up. I'm going to type in Natas2. That's the level we're trying to progress to. We're going to go ahead and paste in the credential we just found. And as you can see, the first couple levels are easy. They do get incrementally harder. This is really just trying to get your brain primed for that required thinking that's needed for stuff like this. So I know it's kind of a joke early on as we work through other challenges, and maybe you have another CTF in mind that you wanna see on my channel as well. Drop it down in the comments below. I'll make sure to add that to the list. I do have a few others like Root Me in mind that I'm going to be jumping into and sharing content for that as well. So if you have any in mind, let me know in the comment section below. So Natas2, it says there is nothing on this page. Like I said, let's kind of start interacting with the web application. Let's get an idea of what we're looking for. So I'm going to right click, hit view page source. And right off the bat, one of the things that catches my eye is line 15. And I can see that directory and it's files/pixel.png. So just for giggles, we're going to go ahead and jump a tab over. We're just going to type in files, see where it takes us. Right away, we get brought to the directory files, and we can see that there is a user.txt and that pixel.png, which was pointed at in the source. So let's just hit that user.txt. Right off the bat, we can see some username and password pairing, and we can see Natas3 with credential. So let's go ahead and test that out. We're going to copy that, same as we've been doing. I'm going to remove that everything after org. And I'm going to remove that 2, and I'm going to drop in that 3 and hit enter. Give it a second to load up. And again, the username is going to be Natas3 because that's the level we're trying to progress towards. We're going to go ahead and paste in that password, and we're going to get sign in. Again, we get that next level load. So we can go ahead and right click, do the page source, start getting an idea of what we're looking at. No more information leaks. Not even Google will find it this time. So one of the keywords you can look up is Google spidering. Understand what that is. I encourage you to just Google that term, understand what it is. It will at some point point you in the right direction if you're doing your due diligence and reading. But let's say you've already been trying to work through it. You're stuck. You can't figure out the answer. So the same thing I like to tell the people I'm mentoring, you really want to interact with that page. 2 areas you can definitely look up right off the bat without having to do any type of automated enumeration is just robots.txt. So we'll go ahead and do that. And right there, we can see disallow secret. That essentially stops Google from spidering it, which means it's just not going to show up in Google searches, stuff like that. We're just going to go ahead, do the same thing, copy that out. I'm going to replace that robots.txt. I'm going to drop in that secret. Right off the bat, we get brought to another directory. We can see a user.txt file. Go ahead and click into that. And now we can see the credential pair for Natas4. I'm going to go ahead and copy that credential. And we're just going to repeat the same thing. Remove everything after org. Remove that 3 in Natas, drop in the 4, hit enter. Username is Natas4. And then we are going to just drop in that password. Enter. All right, so we have made it to Natas level 4. We're just going to go ahead and stop here for this series. I'm going to just post the video, so that's going to have all the way up until Natas 4. The reason why I want to stop here is because this is where we start using some extra tricks. We can start kind of interacting with the request itself and altering that. You can see on the page it says access disallowed. So in the next video, we are going to go ahead and jump into Natas 4. There is a tool called Burp Suite that I do want to introduce everyone to. If you're not very comfortable using burp, that's fine. It's going to be very, very basic use, but burp makes things a lot easier in my opinion. I've kind of grown to love it. You can definitely do the stuff from the browser. There's a few extensions as well, but as part of this video series, I really want to introduce that video. In the next video, when we jump over to Natas 4, we're going to go ahead and launch burp as well, and I'm going to show you how we can interact and change some of those requests that are going through in order to pass Natas level 4 and proceed to level 5. So if you do like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. If you do want to see a video about burp, please let me know in the comment section below. I can start working to put together a basic introduction, and we can kind of proceed through that as well, and you can learn a little bit about burp. Like I said, there are some other tools out there. If you have those in mind that you would like to see in action at some point, also let me know in the comment section below. And other than that, I will catch you in the next video.